What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, aka Sinistermoon, back at you with another Shooting the Shit Saturdays. We're on episode 4 already. It's gone by pretty quick, hasn't it? And I just realized that I left my drink over there, so I'm gonna kind of grab that. There we go. Drinking some more Diet Mountain Dew. It's good stuff. Anyhow, some of you might have noticed that I have brought back Sinistermoon's retro reviews, and I'm definitely stoked about it. It's so much more fun to put those videos out now that I have everything hooked up and I've figured out the best settings and the fastest way to encode the videos and I have faster internet, so they upload super duper fast, and just everything about it is so much better now than when the last time I was doing them years ago. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying that, actually. And you know, I do the commentary way different than I used to. I used to actually write a script and everything, and then I would just record myself through my PC microphone using Audacity. And you know, scripted is good because, you know, it gives you a chance to say everything that you want to say. But for the most part, I think it's so much easier just to kind of free-form it, kind of free-for-all or free-flow kind of deal. It just makes it easier. And what I do is I just kind of ramble on about everything I think about the game. And then and I just use my cell phone to record the commentary, which seems to work just fine, actually. And then I kind of drag that file over to my laptop, and instead of slicing it up in Audacity, I just slice it up in Premiere. And really, I think the last 2 episodes, I've maybe made 3 or 4 quick slices, you know, 3 or 4 edits to the commentary. Like, really, I really don't edit out that much. I try to edit out some of the ums and, you know, other filler, like, you know. Like, but I'm bad about it, I know. It's just how I talk when I'm talking to the camera. Like, if I was talking to somebody in person, then it would be different. So I might have to try some sort of mental thing. Like, I might have to hang up a picture of David Hasselhoff or Michael Jackson or just somebody, you know, I don't know, Paula Abdul, you know, hang up a picture of them in front of the camera so it looks like I'm talking to a person instead of the camera. Something. I don't know. I don't know how to get past that. It's just something that I do. So yeah, thanks for watching those. I'm going to try to do some obscure games, because, you know, I feel like a lot of games have been covered so many times, and I understand that. So, like, when I saw Kevin Smith live for like the 5th time, he was talking about, if you have a vision, go for it, do it, even if it's something that you think it's been done a million times, or, you know, nobody's gonna like this because it's been done so many times. Do it anyhow, because people haven't seen how you want to do it. They haven't seen your version. And so you should do it, because people might actually like your version. And that's kind of how he did things, and so that's why he tells people that. And so, yeah, like, I mean, there's going to be some games that have probably been reviewed to death that I am going to do just because they're my favorite games and I want to talk about them. But for the most part, I'm going to try to stick to some of the retro games that people haven't really heard of, or they haven't really played. And so, you know, to me that makes it more interesting. And because you got to think that, like, I'm right there with you on a lot of these games. Like, a lot of these games I collected because I bought lots of games, and I went through and I picked out the ones I didn't have, and I got rid of the rest, and then I would buy another lot and you know, repeat the process. And so some of these games I haven't even played before. Some of these games I know very little about. And so when I go to do a review, I can actually sit down and play this game, and I like to play the shit out of it for a couple days at least before I review it, because I feel like I want to, you know, cover my bases. Like, I don't want to be like, this game sucks, and it turns out, like, on level 3 the whole game just becomes incredible or something. Like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So, yeah. To give you an example, I'll give you an example right here. Have you ever played this game? This is for the VIC-20, Commodore VIC-20. Skibbereen? Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you like to see this? I mean, this is one of those ones that I picked up in a lot, and I had never even heard of it before. And so, yeah, and it was programmed by a woman, Joanne Lee. So that's kind of cool. We'll have to check that out, right? But yeah, stuff like that, that's mostly the stuff that I'd like to talk about. Just because, you know, who the hell else talks about the Commodore VIC-20? Not many. Maybe Steve Benway. Shoutouts to Steve Benway. I still watch your videos, sir. They're still good. If you haven't checked out Steve Benway, check out his videos. I like his approach a lot. He has an approach where he basically says, hey, I'm not reviewing this thing, I'm not getting paid for this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, but I'm just, you know, kind of playing it badly, and so you can see what it looks like, you know, and I like that. Yeah, Steve Benway, check him out if you haven't for some reason. He has, like, way more subscribers and stuff than me. He's big time, man. Well, not really, but he's much bigger than me. I'm, like, the underground, man. Anyhow, let's move on. I wanted to touch on a subject that I've brought up in probably, I think every episode, maybe all but one or something. When it comes to resellers, the ones that I despise the most are the fuckers that think that they're a part of the gaming industry as a result of reselling games. Seriously, if you were one of those people, fuck you. Okay, like, just because you go and buy something in a thrift store, or you save it from the landfill, like, or whatever you want to say, and go home and clean it up and test it and make sure it works and then put it on eBay, that doesn't make you a part of the game industry. That's like me saying I'm a part of the gaming industry because I talk about games on YouTube. No, it doesn't. It totally doesn't. I'm not a part of the gaming industry. I love the gaming industry, but I'm just a fan. I'm just a player. I'm not. I don't ever tell anybody, yeah, I do Sinistermoon's retro reviews. I'm a part of the gaming industry. No. Matter of fact, I think I would feel really, really stupid if I ever said that to anybody. Anyhow, yeah, don't do that. If you're one of those people that does that, stop doing that. Don't make it about, like, you know, like, you should be invited to E3 and given free promotional stuff from game developers and stuff, because you're not a part of the gaming industry. You're just some person buying and selling stuff. That's all you are. Like, don't try to make reselling glamorous, like you can be a part of the industry as a result, because that's just stupid, okay? Anyhow, enough about those reseller scum. Let's talk about my latest gaming pickups. Here it is. Nothing. I got nothing again. And no, I'm not blaming the resellers or the collectors for this one. I didn't go to any thrifts or anything last week or this week, I guess. I don't know, with starting that new job and everything, it's like they had me get there really super early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. And so by the time I get out of there, I'm just like, fuck going to the thrift stores. I just want to go sit on the couch and relax, you know. I want to smoke some bowls, play some games, and just kind of melt into my couch, you know. So hopefully next week I'll go buy some thrifts. I'll be a little bit more used to the schedule that they have me on, and I'll go check some out, because there's a couple not far from where I work, so I really don't have any excuse. So yeah, we'll see. I have been talking with some people on Facebook Marketplace, Some people have some Atari items I'm interested in. I'm not going to say what they are because I might not get them. Either way, they've been trying to ask top dollar for them, and I'm trying to haggle with them, and they're not budging. And so I'll give it a couple weeks, and chances are they'll still have those items, and they'll be much more lenient on their price. They'll be more willing to haggle. So, yeah, we'll see. I did get a marquee for my arcade cabinet in the mail. And I think I might have mentioned that before. I'm not sure. Or I might have mentioned that I bought one. I'm not sure exactly. But if I have or if I haven't, I bought an arcade marquee for my Phoenix machine. And you know, reproduction, really cheap. It's printed on the material, and it's kind of like, I don't know, floppy. And you got to sandwich it between two pieces of plexi. And so I got it in the mail. I was super excited. I was like, oh fuck yeah, my arcade cabinet's gonna look so much better just with this cheap reproduction marquee. And so I take it out of the package, and right away the background didn't look right to me. Overall it looked like it was mostly there, but the background just didn't look right. The color just did not look right. But I don't know, I waited, and I went down to the glass place, and I had 2 pieces of plexi cut for really cheap. I mean, if you've ever had plexi cut before, it's typically very fairly priced, I think. Either way, that worked out. I come home, sandwich it, sandwich the marquee into the plexi, put it up there, light it up, and I noticed that the background is purple instead of blue. And at first it didn't really bug me, and then I started thinking about, okay, well, what's going to happen when I get the reproduction side art and the control panel overlay, and they don't match. They, like, you got purple up here, and then you got blue everywhere else, and it's just going to look stupid. And so I posted on this Arcade Classics page that I enjoy. My friend John owns it, actually. He does, he works for like One Up in Denver, a really popular barcade and stuff, and yeah, he knows his shit and has like a really extreme arcade collection. Yeah, so I posted a picture or 2 of that on there, and everybody's like, nah, it should be blue, And so I wrote the eBay seller, and they apologized. Apparently one of their inkjets were clogged, and so the color didn't come out right, and shipping didn't catch the air, and so they're going to send me out a new one, or actually they already sent it. It should be here tomorrow, or actually not tomorrow, tomorrow's Sunday, so it should be here Monday or Tuesday. And so I'm pretty excited for it. Like, if it looks as good as the one that they already sent me, but has the correct colors, then it's gonna rock, and I will definitely do more business through them if that is the case, because they have a CPO for my Phoenix that is really fairly priced. It's like $25 shipped, and so that would be another huge, upgrade to the cabinet. And so, yeah, I hope that everything turns out well with that. But that was my only pickup for the week, technically. Anyhow, a movie review. I recently rewatched the Garbage Pail Kids movie from the 80s, and I have to say that was extremely hard to get through. It is really, really bad. Like, I remember seeing it in the theater as a kid and thinking, wow, that wasn't very good. But as an adult, I watched it, and it was painful to watch. It was so bad. They could have done so much more with that story. They could have had so many more characters, and it could have looked better. Like, I mean, there's just so much wrong with that flick. It is just really, really bad. If you've seen it before, tell me if you agree or not. Like, if you haven't seen it, I really can't recommend that you do, because it's a really, really bad movie. However, if you want to get really high and laugh at something completely absurd and ridiculous, like then by all means check it out. Yeah, I mean the movie is sponsored by Pepsi. Like there's Pepsi sponsorship all throughout the movie, and it was produced by Topps, like the trading card company, multi-million-dollar Topps, and they couldn't come up with something better. Like you got Pepsi Cola money and Topps money, and whichever studio money, and it's like really you couldn't get like any A-list actors. You couldn't make the characters look better. You couldn't make more characters. You couldn't have a better story. It just, oh man, horrible flick. Other than that, I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for Thanksgiving because it's basically like the perfect Thanksgiving flick, in my opinion, and it still holds up. Excellent flick. I love John Candy. I miss him. I wish he was still alive to make us laugh, and I wish that Steve Martin was still funny. He's not really funny anymore. Like he's kind of, I think he does like a comedy college now or something like that, which good for him. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not funny indefinitely, but just all the movies that he's in, like all the movies that Steve Martin has been in the last several years, like have been kind of crap. Like I think as soon as he started doing the Father of the Bride movies, like that's where it kind of went downhill for me, at least. I think he was in. I don't know, but yes, I love Steve Martin though. Regardless, like he's really good at banjo. Like he has his own band and everything, and he's also a really good writer. He's just a really smart guy. Like, but yeah, Steve Martin is still good. But yeah. Anyhow, moving on. Music reviews. I still haven't found any new albums, I should say, that I'm like really super interested in listening to. Tim, aka Jumble Junkie, commented on one of my last episodes saying something about like listening to the new Dying Fetus album and everything. And yeah, the new Dying Fetus album is fucking balls to the wall awesome. I listened to that like right when it came out, and I never expect. I don't think there will ever be a bad Dying Fetus album, and the day that there's a bad Dying Fetus album is the day that I might have to stop listening to death metal altogether, because Dying Fetus is amazing. But other than that, so I mentioned that I have a new job, so I can't really tell you where I work exactly because I'd have to flash like a big old disclaimer and everything, and I signed a contract saying that I wouldn't say this and that and the other thing on any kind of social media and all that. And so I'll just simply say that I work for a company that works with SiriusXM or for them, or just has a contract with them or whatever. And we'll leave it at that. Either way, this company has given me a free SiriusXM account, and I gotta say, I don't really care for it. What a shitty thing to say about the thing that you work for or whatever, I'll tell you why I don't really like it. It's because they don't really have the music that I like. And if you're wondering, like, what I searched for Mr. Bungle. No Mr. Bungle. I searched for Phantomos. No Phantomos. Anal Cunt? No. Dying Fetus? No. Any black metal? Cradle of Filth? Demi Bajou? Any of that stuff? No. Aphex Twin? Skinny Puppy? KMFDM? No. And so yeah, it's a major letdown that a lot of music that I enjoy isn't represented on there. They do have some good stuff though. Like if you're into like basic mainstream stuff, like stuff that has been like, some of the best-selling stuff of all time, like Beatles, Elvis, classic rock stuff, some old 80s hair bands, stuff like that, then there's something on there for you if you like that, which I do like. I like all that stuff too. But I can listen to that stuff anywhere. I can listen to that stuff on YouTube, on the radio for free, Pandora, you know, you name it, just name it. I can, you know, there's all kinds of ways to listen to that kind of music. They do have Howard Stern, though, and so I went back and I listened to a lot of Howard Stern episodes on demand, and I still love Howard Stern. Howard is the greatest. He's the king of all media, and it's great that you can listen to Howard Stern on there, I will say that, but it did make me miss the old show that he used to have on E or whatever station that was. You know, because then you could actually see them talking, and you could see the host, or you could see the guest that he has on, and so yeah, it's still good. It's still Howard Stern. I still enjoy him, even though he's 60 and everything. But yeah, I would prefer a video format for Howard, because Howard is incredible. The other stuff on SiriusXM, I don't really have any interest in. They have a few comedy channels, which, you know, I don't like to stream comedy. I like, unless it's like on demand or whatever you want to call it, because I don't want to come in, like, they have a setting to make it so you can come in at the beginning of a track, at the beginning of whichever track is playing, which is cool. But I don't know. I like whole albums, you know, like when it comes to comedy, or whole sets, or whatever you want to call it. I just don't want one routine or a part of a routine or something. Just give me the whole set, you know? Like, give me the whole show, you know? And so, yeah, comedy I don't really dig on there, and I don't dig news, and I don't dig politics or any of that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, there's like a lot of stuff on there that, in sports, there's a lot of sports channels, and I don't listen to any of that stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I personally don't utilize, and so I wouldn't pay for the service. But for free, it's kind of interesting for free. I would say that if you like SiriusXM, definitely get the all access full package deal. So then that way you can have it beamed to your car or your boat by satellite, because then that way you're not eating up your data or whatever, you know, like you don't have to depend on the internet. You can just have that music wherever you're at, and that's cool. That I approve of. But then again, it is a lot of money. It's not cheap. You will pay quite a bit a year on it. So, you know, up to you. If that's how you like to listen to music, then yeah, do yourself a solid and get the all-access package. Anyhow, yeah, but I'll continue torrenting my music, but you know, I buy music still if it's on vinyl. Sometimes CD, but I'm still phasing out a lot of my CD media of all kinds, games, CD, a compact disc, you know, like just all of it. Just not a big CD fan. They scratch and break too easy, and then disc rot could be an issue at some point, and already is for some CDs. I don't know. I've never been too into compact discs. I do like Blu-rays a lot, though, because those are so, like, you can touch them everywhere, and then you can just wipe them off, and they're fine. And yeah, those are cool. Anyhow, I've currently been playing Truxton for the Sega Genesis, one of my favorite shmups. If you ever watch Classic Game Room, Mark is a big fan of this game as well. And that's because it's an excellent game. And I bought it for cheap years and years ago. I don't even know what the price is at for that game anymore. I hear it's not exactly cheap though. But yeah, Truxton, I got the manual, I got the case, I got everything for it. Complete in box. Excellent game. I beat it several times, but I still go back and play it because it's Truxton. It's awesome. Mars Matrix behind me on the Dreamcast, another excellent game. Originally an arcade game, I believe, but it kicks ass on the Dreamcast. If you haven't played Mars Matrix on the Dreamcast, you owe it to yourself too, because it's really great. And then over here, I got Biohazard, or what's it called? Biohazard Battle, that's it. I wanted to say Bio Battle. Either way, I haven't played this game a whole lot, as you can tell. I can't even get the name right. But it's pretty good. It's a horizontal shooter, or a horizontal shmup, there's plenty of horizontal shmups out there that I like a lot, but I don't like them as much as vertical shmups. And people that have been listening to me for years have probably, might remember me talking about that on Operation Kill Screen. But back then, I don't know why, but the difference between horizontal and vertical used to fuck with me. But you know what I think actually really helped with that is buying an arcade game that has a vertical monitor, because then this is vertical, and it just sticks in your head for some reason. I don't know. At least that's how it worked for me. You guys are different. You guys are probably like, I don't need to buy an arcade cabinet to know the difference between vertical and horizontal, because you're smart, and I approve. But yeah, other than those, the games behind me, I haven't been playing a whole lot. I have been playing a game on my Commodore 64, but I don't want to spoil it because I'm going to review it soon. It's a hard game, and I've been putting a lot of effort into it, so hopefully I can get that out sooner than later. But yeah, let's move on to the news segment. I do got a couple stories for you today, actually. Atari Box, or Atari, has released more details about the Atari Box, mostly about the controller, which basically looks like a Bluetooth Atari 2600 controller, and it has a couple extra buttons on it. It has like what appears to be a home button and a back button. I really hope that there's more controllers coming out for this Atari Box, because just that one isn't going to cut it. That's a good start. That's a good way to play, Atari 2600 games. However, it's not going to be good for like indie games and new games, and you know what I mean? Like, so I hope that there's an Air controller as well that has like 8 buttons, like 6 to 8 buttons, and a couple analog sticks and a D-pad, and a couple configuration buttons, like maybe like a sync button and like a select and start and a home button or something like that, Yeah. I already don't really have a lot of interest in the Atari Box because of the price point. I think it's like $300 or some crap. And so I'm not very interested in it yet. And the main reason why I'm not super interested in the Atari Box is because they haven't showed us any games yet. Let's see some games. Show me some games, motherfuckers. Until I see some games and an Air controller and, an actual prototype being played, then I'm not getting my hopes up for this thing. So, very well could just be an Air Coleco Chameleon or something. Like, I'm tired of getting my hopes up just to have it shattered, And so yeah, until I see all that, I don't have any interest. But speaking of Coleco, Coleco or Coleco Holdings, or the people that claim to be Coleco that own the copyrighted material or whatever, or the rights to it. Anyhow, we'll just say Coleco showed a prototype tabletop, Robotech tabletop recently. If you don't remember the old Coleco tabletops, which I'm sure you probably do, they look kind of like this. There's a different style. Like if you've seen the Donkey Kong one, that's the other style, and that other style is what this one looks like. They haven't given a lot of details on this thing yet as to what kind of batteries it's going to take, or if it's going to have a lithium battery built into it, or if it's going to take a power pack, or if it's going to have a power supply included, or if you're going to have to buy it separately, or what kind of screen is in it. Maybe it's like TFT or whatever those old Game Gear ones were called, or maybe it's LCD, or maybe they kicked it up a notch and put an OLED in there or something. We don't have any details of this thing yet, but they have actually showed a real prototype for it, which is huge. That's way more than Atari has Atari has done for their Atari Box. So far, we've seen a rendering, right? I think. Maybe we've seen it. I don't think. Yeah, we haven't seen a prototype as far as I know. So, either way, it looks pretty badass, and they've been giving little details on their Facebook page. Basically, they're saying that there's going to be other games. And so that's huge. Like, I'd love to see more Coleco tabletops. And I think that would be a really good seller for them, depending on price and depending on if they're, going to ask for crowdfunding or not. If they're going to ask for crowdfunding and it's going to be like, $100 or something, then fuck you, I don't want one. But if it's going to be something that I can go pick up at Walmart for $20 to $45, for sure. I'll collect them at that price point, but we'll see, Anyhow, that's all the news that I have for you today, and that's actually the end of the episode as well. Oh, man, I am stoned. Matter of fact, let's take another hit of weed so I can show you this pipe. This is the Genius pipe, and so the Genius pipe is a metal pipe. It's actually 3 pieces. It comes apart here. It's magnetic, and it has like a bunch of little like notches or holes or rivets or whatever you want to call them. That supposedly there's like several thousand or something little holes or whatever in this, and supposedly or maybe it's several hundred, I don't know, there's a lot of little notches or whatever, and supposedly they cool down the smoke, and supposedly this is a pipe that makes it so you won't cough. Like, it cools down the smoke and everything, and just filters it filters it on itself, and it supposedly has a no cough guarantee. But I gotta say, I've coughed a lot off this thing. And so, yeah, here's this piece. You can use it like this, so the whole bowl is exposed, or you can put it down here, so just a little bit of the bowl is exposed, or you can like shut it so it's, it extinguishes your weed, so it conserves your weed a little bit better. Yeah, I gotta say that I'm not a paid off reviewer like most of them on YouTube. I cough plenty off this pipe. Don't believe that shit. It's bullshit. You'll cough just like you'll cough off of any other pipe. I do gotta say though, it is a really good build quality, and it cleans up really nicely, and I like it. It's nice. I got it last Cyber Monday. Got it for like half price. I got it for like $45 shipped, but I had to wait like a month and a half for it to come from the site. And believe it or not, it's not a Chinese knockoff. It's the authentic one. I got all the paperwork and everything with it. And yeah, it's for $45. I think it's pretty fucking badass. But for the $180 to $150 or so that they want full price for, I think they retail for that anyhow. It's not worth that. It's definitely not worth. And I gotta say, they try to rip you off on the screens. Like, they try to say, you gotta buy our screens that work perfectly for this Genius pipe. And they're like $17 for 6 of them or something crazy. Don't do that. Go to the hardware store, get yourself some aerators, I think they're called. They're the little screens that go inside your kitchen faucet. That's all they are. And you can get them for super cheap at the hardware store, maybe like 30-40 cents a piece or so. If that, they're cheap. And it's going to do the same thing that the Genius pipe screens do, the special ones. So yeah. Overall, I can't say that this is a must-have. Like, it's not a must-have pipe. And it's not a pipe that you really want to smoke with just anybody and everybody. There's no carb on it, and so people get confused by that. And yeah, I don't know, but it is nice. Like I said, $45, grab it up. Why not? It's really good for portable, personal use, more so than a Chillum in ways. Like, yeah. Good stuff. And I'll just shut the Genius pipe, and that's that. Anyhow, guys, it's good talking with you again, and I'm still enjoying doing these videos. My schedule is going to be changing here soon. Next week, I think, will be the last episode actually recorded on a Saturday and uploaded on a Saturday. I might have to start recording them Friday night and putting them out on Saturday. I'm not sure yet. We'll see if I can figure that out. But obviously, I'm not going to change the day just because my schedule has changed. Like, that would really ruin the title of the show, wouldn't it? And my apologies for not getting to the other show idea that I had brought up, or the game room tour. I just haven't had time, really, or the desire. Sinistermoon's retro reviews in this series have been enough for me, but I do plan to bring in those other videos eventually, hopefully sooner than later, so bear with me. Alright, you know, I never know how to end these. Like, should I do the generic YouTube thing? Remember to comment and subscribe if you like what you see. Should I pull something like that? Or should it be like, until next time? Right? Or something like that, I don't know. Later, guys.